Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and as you saw in the thumbnail and the title, this video is all about stats. Stats play a major role in helping me, helping you, helping professionals at the highest level get better. So we're going to deep dive using the V1 game app to see what I did wrong, what I did well in last week's tournament. So without further ado, let's roll a little highlight of last week's even par 72. Six shots, but we will not be able to use this lob wedge anymore.
Oh, shit.
Hey, that was a lot of fun.
George, it was.
Yeah, there was a lot of ups and downs for all of us.
Enjoyed it.
That was fun.
Yeah,
Enjoyed it. Nice shooting day, guys.
Enjoyed it.
Alright, so the highlights show a lot of good, some bad, but using the V1 game app, I'm able to track all my stats. It's really easy. I'm going to show you guys, how easy it is to track a whole post round, but if you have an Apple Watch, you can track your round and your stats real time. But here is the post round stat entering. All right, here we go. We're gonna start on hole one because I made birdie, obviously. Let's go 3, 1 putt. I think it was about 8 footer. 8 footer for birdie. I'll say 7 feet. 0 penalties, save that, that's a birdie. But then you go in, drag where you hit from. So I had a 70-yard shot. That looks about right. Hit it to right here. And we'll move the pin just to make it a little more realistic. Right there, and then bam. Putter, put a lob wedge, driver, bam. That's all it is. So you do that for 18 holes. It took me about 10 minutes to do. Now obviously the Apple Watch during the round is going to give you, you don't have to do this in post round, but if you're like me, you can remember, I can remember all my shots. So you do that for 18 holes, it'll track all your stats. The link is in the description for a download. Go and download the app. It's a lot of fun. It'll save some strokes and it's super easy to use. But let's go over the round. Let's dive in to my tournament round. All right, first up, we got potential. It has my potential at 67, which is frustrating because 68 won. If I just take out the mistakes, the 3 putts, which is 2, I missed a green from 50 yards. That's kind of a double chip, if you will, where you miss a green and have to chip again on 13. And then 2 penalty mistake, or 2 penalty strokes, 1 for hitting the hazard and then a half stroke for each chip out I had. Pretty frustrating because 67, that would have been easy to do. Golly, and I win $1,000, much happier, but you learn from your mistakes, honestly, way more than you do your victories, in my opinion. All right, the first area we're gonna clean up moving forward is, honestly, this is probably my biggest problem, is course management, strategy, and commitment. So on the hole 9, we can start with hole 9. This drive here, as you see, I blocked it to the right, hit in the right trees, which then caused me to chip out, and I didn't make par, but had I hit in the fairway, who knows, we might make birdie, but I was not scared, but my target was kind of the right side of the fairway and didn't really trust my fade, which I needed to aim left, like left fairway, whatever. So this was solely a commitment issue, which is frustrating because I'm a good driver. There's no need to be scared. All right, here we go, hole 12. As you can see, it's 291 through the fairway, 291 to those trees, which if I hit a really good 3-wood, I could probably get there, but more than likely not. So the reason I hit this thing left is that in the back of my mind, I was like, well, if I hit this good, I could hit it right out of bounds, which is like 300 plus to out of bounds. So what are you gonna do? What do I do? Snap hook it left, or not snap hook, just kind of pull it a little bit. So I either need to move my target farther right and just commit to the swing, or hit hybrid, ensuring that, like, giving me peace of mind that I know I can't hit it through the fairway. So those were 2 mistakes that ended up costing me 2 strokes, which just those 2 decisions alone, I finished in the money. It happens, it's golf, but we can easily correct that. All right, so now on to driving. This is a cool little graphic that shows, where my misses are left, right, and this will be as tournament golf goes further and further as I play more rounds into this. like being able to see my shot dispersion, because personally, I want to have more of my shots miss right. And just in one round, as you see, 21% were right versus 14. So I missed 3 to the right and 2 to the left. So this will be a cool way to track how much I'm missing to the right and left. Shows my average errors. But when I thought of my round, I was like, okay, 9 of 14 drives or in the fairway, that's pretty good. But the kicker, the reason I lost strokes gained on driving to a Tour Pro, I'm comparing myself to the Tour Pro, is because I had to chip out twice. On 2 different drives, I hit it into spots where I had to chip out. Now, if I just hit those 2 drives in the rough, then I gained strokes driving, so that would have been a win. So really, 9-14, we're fine with my driving. The mistakes came because of mental errors, not necessarily like a swing or like a swing flaw in my driving. So, driving, we can move on. We're pleased with driving, although I did lose strokes. Moving on to the approach shots, I lost strokes from 176 and above, which honestly, that's not that surprising. I did, however, gain strokes on 150 and below, so that showed me that although I hit some kind of questionable shots from that 150 and in, overall it was encouraging because I actually gained some strokes on most of my shots from below 150, as you guys can see here. So what am I going to do moving forward? Looking at this, I'm going to go, honestly, probably work on 7, 8, 6 iron range, and really try to just hit a few more shots in practice to try to, maybe not lose. If I do lose a little bit, that's fine, but I'm not trying to lose like over 1 stroke when I do, have a 6, 5, 4 iron in my hand. But again, just take some practice. Now, the cool thing about this is showing my putting stats. It tells me that I actually gained strokes on a PGA Tour Pro. I had 28 total putts, made 5 of 9 from 7 to 25 feet, so I gained a whole bunch of strokes. 12 of 14 for my putts inside 6 feet, and 2 3 putts from putts 26 feet above. Not great, but overall, I gained strokes with 2 3 putts. So we cleaned those 3 putts up. We're putting like above tour average, and the average total feet made in a round is 70 feet. I made 102 feet of putts. That's kind of cool. Now, short game, 6 of 9 up and downs, scrambling at 66%. That's really good, way above tour average. So again, just keep doing what I'm doing around the greens. Clean some things up on some chip shots to make my overall form better. But overall, look at the stats. We're good. 67% up and down. Now, best hole, worst hole. Best hole, definitely hole 11. I think it came at a crucial time in which I thought I needed it to kind of get the ground going. Made a really good birdie. Didn't hit a great wedge shot, but it ended up in a great spot, mainly because of targeting. Then made a great putt. Worst hole, you guys, let's just throw the worst hole up here. I mean, again, not a bad drive. Then the decision to go for it out of the rough, really stupid. If I just lay up, hit a wedge shot on the green, make a birdie, who knows? I mean, could have been totally different. But again, this app tells you all these things that, for me, a visual learner, it's good to see. You might, okay, I drove it well, I putted it well, but having stats to either affirm or disprove what you thought about your round is really cool. Add this up or look at this, after you plug in 10, 20 rounds, it'll be really telling what you need to work on to get better, to lower strokes, and hopefully, in my case, cash in more tournaments, even win some more. All right, that's a wrap. That's the V1 game app in a nutshell. The link is in the description. Go download it. We got a lot of fun stuff coming with V1, and especially this app. So go get it. Join me in your quest to improve your golf game using and looking at stats. But biggest takeaway for me is I'm really close to playing some good golf. As you saw, the potential was 67 for me, and that could have been done very easily. So I've got a few things to work on. But guys, go get better. Let's keep having fun at this game of golf, and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and we'll see you guys next time. See y'all.